All right, let's talk about a car that everybody seems to love at first sight, the second generation MINI Cooper S, also known as the R56. You see one on the street, you can't help but smile, right? It's got that classic look, that go-kart handling promise, and it's cheap. But the question is it a brilliant buy or a very, very expensive buy? And right there, that's the whole problem, isn't it? That price tag is so tempting. It feels like it's too good to be true. And as we're about to find out, it absolutely is. This car is hiding a very dark and very, very expensive secret. I mean, you can see the appeal. The styling, it's iconic. The price, 5 to 8 grand gets you in the door, which is amazing. And the promise, what could be better than a fun, zippy, and cheap car to drive every day? On paper, it is just about perfect. But here's the betrayal. Here's the catch. Underneath that cute little British body is BMW engineering from a time when, let's be honest, BMW could not make a reliable small engine to save its life. This is not a cheap little runabout. It's a high-strung, high-maintenance German machine playing dress-up. So let's get right to the heart of it. We have to talk about the engine. It's called the Prince engine, and it was co-developed by BMW and Peugeot. Yeah, that should be your first major red flag. This engine is the source of almost every single nightmare you're about to hear about. And you really gotta know, there are two versions of this engine. The one you see in the 2007 to 2010 models is the N14. And I'm not exaggerating when I say it's one of the worst, most unreliable engines of the modern era. The later N18 is better, for sure. But as you'll see, better is a very relative term here. So what's the actual killer here? It comes down to this one tiny part, the timing chain tensioner. It's supposed to keep the timing chain nice and snug. But in the N14, they used plastic guide rails. Plastic in a hot, vibrating engine. It's not a design flaw, it's a ticking time bomb. And this is exactly what happens. It's a catastrophic chain reaction. The brittle plastic guide shatters into pieces. The chain immediately goes slack. Then it jumps a tooth on the gear. And because this is an interference engine, the pistons smash right into the valves. Boom. Engine destroyed. Game over. And look, don't go thinking this is some high-mileage issue that you won't have to worry about for a while. No way. This isn't happening at 150,000 miles. These things fail and fail often as early as 30,000 miles. It's a bomb waiting to go off from day one. And the cost? Oh, the cost is just brutal. If you are lucky enough to hear that horrible death rattle sound when you start it up and you fix it immediately, you might get away with a $2,000 or $3,000 bill. If you don't catch it, you're looking at a new engine for up to 7 grand on a car that's maybe worth 5.
You think that's bad?
Oh, we are just getting started. The timing chain is just the headliner. Owning an R56, especially that N14, is like conducting a symphony of expensive, cascading failures. Let's run through the greatest hits, shall we? First step, the high-pressure fuel pump. It's a famous weak point. It will fail, and when it does, your car will either stall randomly, maybe in the middle of an intersection, or it just won't start at all. Cha-ching, that's another few $100. Next, we've got the thermostat housing. Remember the plastic problem? Well, here it is again. It's plastic, it's bolted to a very hot engine. What do you think is going to happen? It cracks, dumps all your coolant, and you risk overheating and destroying the engine all over again. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Because this is a direct injection engine, fuel is sprayed right into the cylinder. That means the intake valves never get cleaned by gasoline. So thick, gunky carbon builds up on them, slowly strangling the engine, making it feel sluggish and rough. Every 30,000 miles or so, you get to pay for a walnut blasting service to clean it all out. Fun! Okay, this one is actually dangerous. The electric power steering pump is notorious for just dying, with no warning at all. 1 minute, you're steering with one finger, the next, you need both arms to turn the wheel. Imagine that happening in the middle of a tight corner. Not good. And believe it or not, the list just keeps going. The water pump fails. The turbo wastegate starts rattling. It leaks oil from the valve cover, from the oil filter housing, pretty much everywhere. Oh, and even the exterior door handles are a known flaw, and they just snap right off in your hand. It's a complete festival of things waiting to break. So, is there any way out of this mess? Is there any hope? Well, maybe. In 2011, MINI switched to that updated N18 engine we mentioned, And a lot of people see this as the magic bullet, the solution to all the R56's problems. But is it really the lifeline people hope for? Okay, this chart tells you everything you need to know. And yes, credit where it's due, the N18 fixed the two biggest, most catastrophic problems, the timing chain and the fuel pump. That is a huge deal. But the carbon buildup issue? Still there. The power steering pump failures? Still a problem. The endless leaks and the rock-hard, expensive run-flat tires? All still part of the ownership experience. The N18 is a better car, but it is not a good car. All right, so let's just put all of this together. Let's ignore the charm for a second and just look at the cold, hard numbers. What is the actual financial reality of trying to own one of these things day to day?
Just look at this. It's insane. You've got a car that's worth, on average, maybe $6,500, but you need to budget realistically $2,000 to $4,000 a year just for maintenance and repairs. Just look at those two bars. They are terrifyingly close to each other.
Let me put it another way. You should expect to spend between 25% and 50% of the car's entire value every single year just to keep it running. Think about that. It's an unbelievable, relentless cash drain. Which really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? Does pouring thousands of dollars a year into a rapidly depreciating asset make any financial sense at all? I think we all know the answer is a hard no. It is quite simply financial insanity. You know, this quote just hits the nail on the head. It's perfect. You see it, you fall in love with how cute and playful it looks, you bring it home, and then it proceeds to tear your house apart and eat your entire bank account. It is a deeply, deeply deceptive car. So when it comes down to it, the verdict has to be clear. It has to be simple. For almost everyone looking for a fun, affordable car, the 2007 to 2013 MINI Cooper S is a hard, definite, unequivocal buy. It is just too risky and far too expensive. So what should you get instead? Look, if you want something small, fun to drive, and practical that won't destroy you financially, check out a Honda Fit or a Mazda 3 from the same time period. They give you about 90% of the fun with like 10% of the financial terror. They'll actually be reliable, they'll be enjoyable, and they will not eat your savings account for lunch.